Welcome back! We haven't done a video in a while, but here we are in Hong Kong talking about what's going on right now, and we've got an upgrade. We both have lavaliers, so hopefully you'll be able to hear us better.
Let's give it a try. What day are we on? Day 79, I think. Yeah, I personally start counting on the first day of Chinese New Year, so today is day 79. And we just hit 1,000 cases. So 1,000 cases, 23% of them were the students studying abroad whom they just got back in the past week and a half. And then I have a couple more data here. The longest time staying in the hospital, it's a 91 years old lady. She was confirmed positive on February 9th, and she's still in the hospital.
Holy,
so
really?
It's been over 60 days. Yep.
Wow, okay.
So, yeah, so we have a little bit data of that.
Yeah, wow, that sucks.
Yeah, well, she's still alive.
Yeah.
Finger crossed.
That's lucky. Okay. Whew. Well, our heart goes out to her and her family, and hopefully she gets well soon. So it's Easter weekend, and we've heard stories in the news about everywhere, all around the world, that people seem to want to be going out and visiting their families and doing fun things and people are tired of being cooped up, so they want to go and hang out at the beach here in Hong Kong.
Oh, it is a nice day today.
Yeah, or go to the park or whatever. So there's a lot of people who are out right now, and that's not really great.
No, not great at all. If you think about we know that people in the healthcare, in the hospital, they're working really hard in the hospital on a daily basis. They pretty much is like spending their life to work there, and then it's just not fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. All we need to do is just stay at home. I mean, there's nothing hard about it. You don't have to do hard work. You just chill, relax, watch TV, do anything at home, and then that would help a lot already.
So we have some questions from our last video. Sorry about getting back to you so late. But here, let's go through these questions. These questions are from Canada, specifically Ontario. Sandy from Innisfil, Ontario asks, there are no cases in my small town, but 15 minutes away in Barrie, there are cases. Should I be wearing a mask while grocery shopping?
That's a good question. Why would you need to wear a mask when there's no case in your town? But let's think about that. If we live 15 minutes outside of that town, and if we do grocery shopping in our grocery shop in our own town, when we get there, we see a huge lineup. What would we do?
Jump in the car and go to the next
Yeah, exactly.
store?
So like people in Barrie, maybe they want either they line up or they decided the line is too long. Let's drive somewhere else. 15 minutes perimeter. I think that's quite easy to handle on driving. And then I personally would, because I don't know people coming out from different places coming into the grocery shop.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't wear a mask when we don't wear a mask when we're in the car. But then I think I would highly recommend you to wear a mask when you actually, once you get out of the car, when you start your shopping in the grocery store.
Yeah. Well, I mean, here they suggest that when you wear a mask when you're in a crowd. So when you go to the grocery store, you have to line up outside. You have to go in. There's other people inside. So, and then there's the cashiers. And I know a lot of them, they put up the plexiglass or glass or whatever in front of them. But still, I mean, to protect the poor cashier and anyone working, you should wear a mask so you don't make them sick. I mean, that's the first, right? That's
Absolutely.
the first line of defense. In case you have it, wear a mask. And
I would say always think about if there's any family member at home that you need to look after. So if you suddenly, touch wood, if you're not feeling well and something like that, and then you realize that who's going to look after them, or even your pets, the kids,
Sure.
family members. So
Yeah, sure.
might as well just step up a little for on the defense line. Yeah.
Yeah. We recommend wearing a mask. Even just a cloth mask is fine. One that you can make at home, or maybe you have one. It doesn't have to be N95. You can save those for the people at the hospital. If you have any, you can send them to the hospitals. Apparently all the hospitals need some, which is sad that the government can't take care of you, but whatever. Yeah, that's depressing. That's a whole other topic on its own. The next, Sandy has another question. How long are you using the same mask? I heard the N95 were only good for 4 hours, so the surgical mask must be even less, and are they washable? So, first of all, the second part of this question, I heard N95 were only good for 4 hours. I've heard, I didn't look it up before this, but I'm pretty sure that surgical masks are the same, 4. It's not less, it's 4. And they're not washable.
Definitely not.
Not washable. And how long are we using the same mask?
Well, we only been using surgical masks, which are disposable, because we pay attention to where we go most of the time. So we know that we only go to places with like not too crowd people, like not too many people.
Yeah, not big crowds.
But if let's say if I went to a grocery store and there was a big crowd there and did my grocery shopping, come back, I would feel like I need to chuck it right away, because what happened is a surgical mask. I get caught on my glasses again. Here you go. So the outside's always, I think I mentioned it in the first episode, the outside's always where the stuff got caught here, the outside. So you kind of, you're not supposed to touch the outside, and at the same time, when you know it's too much, that it's done its job, you just have to put the outside, fold them inside, turn them inside, and then you kind of roll it out so that all the germs part are inside, and then you tie it and then just chuck it.
And over here, we've been going to the extra step of ripping them so they can't be reused, because in the early days of our outbreak over here, people were fishing them out of the trash and selling them to people, which is terrible.
Bad idea.
So bad. Yeah. Anyway.
Bad idea.
Yeah.
Should I mention about the folding thing? Or?
Yeah.
So if we go out, let's say we go out to eat or do something simple, and there's always time that you want to take your mask off, but then you don't want to trash it, and then you don't know how to do it. So I have a thing. I make a thing for myself, which is like this.
It's a little folder.
It's
Here,
a little folder.
hold
You hold that. So what I did is I printed out on a Word document like that, and then I just get a folder. This is my orange folder. So you just open it up, you slide it in. So I do 2 here. So by the time if you cut it out along the line here, it would be like this.
And then you just fold it.
And then you just fold the bottom up too, and then fold it like that. So what I do is when we go out, you have to take your mask off. So I take my mask off.
It's hard to do with.
No, it's okay. So the bad side, which is the outside of the mask, just sit right there, right here, right? And then 2 thumbs, kind of stretch it outside. I'm still not touching the outside of the mask. So, and then you fold it in half, like this. And then you fold it like that. So the looping is outside, you just do a twist, and then you tie it. Then you could keep it while you were maybe eating or when you were driving, stuff like that. Then you could reuse it.
It fits in your pocket or in your purse or whatever. So, yeah.
So if you're interested to get this copy,
well, I'll post a link under the video, and then you can download it and use it at your discretion.
Sure.
At will. Whatever.
So
okay, third
next
question. This one's from Barb in Keswick, Ontario. I see a lot of people wearing gloves around. I've heard that it's actually worse to wear gloves and it's easier to wash hands or use sanitizer. Is this true?
We have people in the building that wear gloves. We've seen people in the neighborhood wearing gloves. What's your take on that?
Well, Ken and I had a good debate about this the other day when you first asked the question under the last video. And I was of the opinion that you don't need to wear gloves. And then Ken said, no, I think you do. And then I think Ken did a fairly good job at convincing me.
What did I say?
You said, well, because I said, I think there's certain reasons to wear gloves and other times when you wouldn't need to. So people who are a cashier, you definitely want to wear gloves. I don't think, anytime you're directly involved with the public for anything, I think wearing gloves is a good idea. And it also helps to remind you not to touch your face with the gloves. Right? You're wearing gloves, so it helps to remind you, don't do anything weird with these potentially contaminated hands. See, my concern is sort of the way that they were talking about masks in the early days in the West, that you'll just contaminate yourself worse if you're wearing gloves, which could be true.
Could be true.
So, but then you were saying, what did you say? You said better safe than sorry.
It's better safe than sorry. I guess the main point of it is, the more I think about it, main point is, it's how you're going to remind yourself not touching your face after your hand touched something. Doesn't matter you have gloves on or no gloves on, because after you touch it and then the next thing around. So I think where we are now in Hong Kong, it's slightly easier because our masks basically remind us that we're not supposed to touch our face already. The mask actually create a barrier. But if you're not wearing masks when you do shopping, you just have to remind myself that your hand just touched something. The next thing is just leave your hands empty until you finish paying cash, credit card, everything, and then you just have to find a way to clean them, sanitize them.
There's a really amazing video about cross-contamination when you're wearing gloves. So it's a nurse that was talking about, she had gloves on and then she did this great demo with paint. I think that's the best way to demonstrate virus. Or imagining glitter or whatever, but she used actual paint and she put her fingers in the paint like, okay, these gloves are contaminated, but what happens now if I want to look at my phone at my grocery list, or someone calls me and then you put it on your face and the next thing you know, you contaminated yourself, or potentially contaminated, because you're not necessarily getting germs, like the germ that you're trying to avoid, but you could be. So if you touch your phone, put it to your face, later put your phone in your bag, get home, take your phone out, talk on it later, because if it's a glass surface, then the germs are going to live on it for a certain period of time, and if the time's not up, then you could recontaminate yourself then too. So for me, I think I don't feel the need to wear gloves, but I'm not in the public a lot. So for me, grocery shopping, I try to be careful and then do my due diligence of washing my hands and sanitizing and stuff.
Grocery shopping, I think it's easy because you pretty much know what you're going to grab when you pushing your buggy, and then you know what you grab, instead of
looking at it,
put it back, looking at it, put it back. We at least we don't do that very often. So, but you want to get canned food, you just go grab it.
It's different with fruit though, because people do that with fruit. They're like, oh no, this one's bad on that side. And
so the other day we talk about, if you feel uncomfortable touching the fruit and you don't have a glove, you could actually get. Do they have bags now in the?
Yeah.
The freezer bag you could use, or somehow you could actually take
the bags that you put the fruit in. You can use that bag to pick
as
up
a
the
glove
fruit and then
put them in. So yeah. But we always have a little bottle of hand sanitizer around, with us all the time, so we just do that.
On the bottom of this, I will also put the link to the awesome video of the nurse showing you about cross-contamination while wearing gloves. So it's up to you about your personal preference with gloves, but you have to be really careful and think about what you're doing and why you're doing it, and then about the disposal. I mean, it's the same with masks. You have to just be really diligent about the handling.
The handling, it's the key, because it does the protection, but then if you don't handle it correctly, you just defeat the whole purpose.
That's true.
Yeah, so
Did we answer the how long to wear a mask for?
I think maybe not. We usually wear masks like our surgical mask, maybe 2 or 3 days, 4 days, but we don't wear it all day long. I think the total amount of time is about 5-6 hours in total.
Max.
But we only go to places when there are only maybe 3 or 4 people around us. And
Mostly we're wearing our masks to protect other people from us.
that's
and not
always the
them.
purpose. Yeah.
We're less, I mean, we don't want to get the virus, but we're less concerned about getting it ourselves than passing it to somebody else. So
it should be both ways. So,
yeah.
I think so.
But
so.
here we feel quite comfortable because everybody's wearing a mask, so that gives you so much more protection than if you go to the grocery store in Canada, say, and no one's wearing a mask except for you. I mean, that's a bit scarier. Although people seem to be wearing them a lot more, and there's a lot of people making masks, which is great.
The pretty looking mask, yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
good.
What can you do?
Stay positive.
Yeah.
But don't eat too much dessert because that's what we've been doing.
God, yeah.
It's crazy. We bought something, put a tub of ice cream in the freezer, and then every day we open it, it's like, let's have ice cream, and like,
I know.
so yeah. I hope later on we don't need a bigger screen too.
Oh my God. No. Oh, that's a good point.
Well, we need to work out now.
Yeah.
You work out, but you don't eat more.
Yeah. I got on this scale this week and realized that I've gained 3 kgs. So, oops, I'm going to be working that up. Well, you try too. I'm sure you've gained something.
No, I'll eat all the ice cream.
Anyway, thanks for watching and stay healthy.
身體健康。
Bye.